Welcome to your Synastry chart report. This is the Peace Dealer, and I hope you gain the utmost of quality from this report. Definitely excited to look into this report, especially concerning after the interpretation of James' chart, which was really awesome to read. I'm glad to now bring in Vanessa into the fold. And right off the bat, it's awesome to see that this is a relationship between two Pisces suns. I think this might be the first time that I've done a synastry reading with two people of the same sun sign. So that's awesome. Then we also see you're born 1990. Welcome to Goat Squad. I'm also born 1990. We're the greatest. And James, is born 87. 87 and 90 are very pivotal because we have Saturn and Sag shifting into Saturn and Cap, and we have the North Node in Aries juxtaposed with the North Node in Aqua, which are very compatible destinies. Oh, snap! This is lit! I'm not even gonna ruin that surprise yet, but you're about to see why this is lit. Y'all are destined to be together. Y'all know this already. But that's lit. That's lit. So you were born, so James came into the incarnation plane in Saturn in Sagittarius. And then after he finished, then we came through in the Saturn and Capricorn incarnation plane. You were born in February. I was born in June. So you were like in the beginning of the plane. You deboarded before I did. So, it's very important to look at generational aspects in synastry because this eludes us, as we can see with the destinies. Y'all specifically, so when you guys said you were in each other's lifetimes, it's true because y'all specifically chose to meet each other and incarnate at the time you did. And I'm going to go into why this makes y'all destined to connect. But outside of that, we know that just off of the strength of both of you having the same sun sign, both of you progress accordingly. So his sun is 14 degrees, your sun is 4 degrees. When you were born, okay, he was progressed 17 degrees in Pisces. So y'all progression, he leads a 13-degree difference in space while y'all progress through the zodiac together, 1 degree every year. This is a very huge indicator of twin flame, or at least a connection between the spirit. Both of your spirits travel together. And so it's very common to see twin flame connections with two people who mirror the same sun sign back at each other because both of you identify with the same themes. It's just the way you connect with other energies will be different. Now that we know that your suns are the linking energy between you two, both of you represent divinity. We know that you are the cosmic representative of divinity. You're the legendary Pisces. You are the advanced genie or the cosmic expression of divinity. And we know that James is the natural expression of divinity here with his moon in Taurus, mastered in Taurus, mind you, 26 degrees. Why is this important? This is important because Taurus and Aquarius are soulmates. And so the Taurus moon, fourth house to the Aqua moon, is what sets up a soulmate connection at a soul level. In that, the natural nature of James's soul will understand the alien cosmic nature of your soul. And while they will clash, provide you with literal grounding to stay receptive to the macrocosm of knowledge that constitutes everything, he'll be receptive to the microcosm. Aqua and Taurus definitely has a special kinship. Once again, it's not like these energies don't clash, but it definitely goes a long way to assert how the more advanced nature of your soul will be grounded by the more practical nature of his soul. So this is another soulmate indicator. Whenever we see one's moon is fourth house or square another's moon, there's mutual understanding as much as there will be a clash. For example, sometimes you can be a bit too alien for his groundedness, and sometimes he can be a bit too slow or traditional for the advanced way you come into your receptivity. However, this is still going to illustrate, very importantly, a super dynamic sense of both of you being stubborn AF. Both of you are going to be very stubborn at the soul level. Well, this is a good thing. This is actually what's going to connect. This is what's actually connected you together. And it's a highly magnetic expression of energy, all right, as a result, too. Something to keep in mind. Now we see, based on rising signs, you have your rising Sagittarius, and he has his rising in Leo. And so concerning that, both of you having fire sign risings is another indicator that connects you together, because your personalities are very compatible. Your personality is going to draw out the creativity and inner child of his personality. And his personality is going to ascend and show you the higher meaning of your personality. Even more dynamic because you highlight his fifth house, which is ruled by Leo rising, and he highlights your ninth house, which is ruled by Sag rising. So this is a very magical and special relationship. And seeing that both of you at the spiritual level are ascended masters adds more context into the high vibrational nature of this union. When we now take into account how he influences you, we know that his Saturn and Uranus falls in your first, which is definitely going to harness and constitute the responsibility and the unconventional nature of influence that will go directly into how this very much so influences your personality. It's also very important to denote how close Saturn is to your rising sign, because this is an aspect which creates binding and also responsibility. So, James is definitely going to feel very responsible for you. And even though Saturn provides limitations, you can also see this as protection. This also sets up an alien construct where you become an instrument of his karma. And so because his karma is on your identity, you are his karma. That's so interesting. You are an instrument of his karmic magic and his inner genius, which allows him to express this through how you express yourself. Okay? Something very, very important. Something that is very, very also revealing is seeing how he has his Neptune on your Uranus. This is another, in my opinion, you won't see this written in any article, but I've kind of always seen that as a twin flame indicator, especially when the woman's Neptune is on the man's Uranus. So this really speaks to the unconventionality of your own inner genius that connects well with his spirituality and intuition. It's trans-Saturnian, so we'd have nothing in our system to make sense of this. It's just really a sense that you'll have physiologically. And a lot of his own physical intuition and yours is heavily triggered once again by this unconventional Uranian dynamic that you directly trigger now with your Mars, because you have your Mars exalted with Venus here on Saturn, giving you an extremely, or rather, a super incredible, powerful, disciplined ability to manifest very powerfully. I mean, this is telekinetic here. This is very powerful. And then the strength of your mind, especially in Aqua, will go into the genius of processing this macrocosmic understanding of experiences you harness as a Sag rising. And so Venus, that is in Aquarius, is going to constitute the attitude of knowledge that goes into how James is able to speak directly to your heart. One of my favorite Synastry contacts is the moon in Aqua. Sorry, when someone's Venus is on your moon, in this case, James loves your soul. And this is soul love that you can feel in your soul. Even though Venus is detached here, the intellectual nature of his love language is going to always make sure he breaks you off some knowledge that's going to be very nourishing to your soul. It connects with Mercury, which now adds beauty to the nature of conversations that you have. And yeah, does a whole lot to really assert that. We also want to take into account how his fourth house is your third house. And so the nature of what constitutes his cosmic grounding and understanding is your attitude. And so you're able to speak directly to facets of his own comfort zone that I normally would never mention in a reading, but because it's so exact relative to the equal signs, is even more important because your destiny is on his fourth house and your south node is on his AC. I'm going to say that again. Your attitude is his relationship house, not his fourth house. His fourth house is Scorpio. And so the way that you juxtapose your attitude is what's going to very powerfully speak to how he reflects himself in relationships. And I want to explain that a little better because, once again, your destiny being on his seventh house means that you are destined to be his partner, which is so badass. We also see now the south node on his there we go. We also see the south node. No. We also see the south node on his rising. And this is another soulmate indicator. So if I take from an article, when the south node is on the ascendant and the north node is on the descendant, this aspect indicates compatibility, comfort, and familiarity. You feel as though you are meant to be. Indeed, this is an indication that the two of you are soulmates. You feel very attracted and attached to one another, and the physical attraction is off the charts. It's off the chain, son. You immediately feel a sense of recognition when you two meet, and I know both of you did. The ascendant person freely gives to the north node person, which would mean James freely gives to you. But the node person may restrict or limit the ascendant person in the way they present themselves to the world. And you really want to see this limit as a necessary thing, because this is what's going to, of course, keep in context how James expresses his Leo rising to help you develop the challenges needed to become more Aquarian, which in a relationship with him, he will bring out, fostering with the Venusian element of his genius heart. His Mercury is on your sun. This is a telepathic connection. the way his mind processes links with your spirit. And so without having to say words in Pisces, you're very linked in this imaginative connection. Jupiter and his sun, rather, that's in the same sign, falling in your fourth, is another soulmate indicator. When someone is in your fourth house, they understand you like a family member would. There's a sense of understanding relative to your Sag rising that gives him and supplements your awareness of private divinity or the private meaning of why things happen that you see privately that goes into the public analysis of the world around you. So he's going to bolster that. Jupiter, that's now in the fourth, fifth with his north node, is going to now align his destiny path, which is him really stepping into his individuality, which is going to harness more of your creativity. He's destined to help you bring out more of your creative talents. Mars, that's in Taurus, in your fifth, sixth house, where his MC is going to take the determined quality and approach he takes towards his career to align very powerfully and strongly with your lifestyle. And this is the blessing of having the rising sign in the same element. Both of you have your work houses in the same place. So your sixth house work environment is his 10th house legacy. And so this lends both of you to work very well together. His career aims and actions and sexuality are going to align with your lifestyle, where his soul is, and he's going to be very receptive to your routine. He's going to do well to nurture that and kind of make sure that you're aligned with what you plan to do. Chiron in the seventh now means that he's going to heal the vulnerability of what goes into relationships with you. But being so close to your DC speaks now to a more destined quality, trining your north node, having him almost destined to heal aspects of your relationship together. And then, of course, he is the embodiment of your philosophy in the ninth house of God here. And now when we look at how you influence him, we see that with your Mars in his sixth house, just like he nurtures your lifestyle, you assertively and practically and productively take action to help him with his behavior or to influence very incredibly his behavior. Where we see with Saturn here, you have karma over. You may work with him or for him. And then, of course, with the Mercury, or he may work for you. And then with the Mercury and Moon in Aqua, that's going to be in his seventh house. As we establish, you're destined to be in a relationship with him. And this makes you nurture. And, you know, when the Moon is in someone's seventh house, they see you as an ideal mate, which he will. Obviously, y'all have recognized each other as twins. And so with the Mercury here, you really communicate themes that draw out the cosmic nature of how he relates with others, juxtaposing the passion that his personality exudes. Because Pisces is 8th house to Leo, you bolster his 8th house transformative presence. And this will evoke a primal sexual reaction that has you really evoke deep sexuality within him. And we also see that Jupiter and Chiron is in his 12th house. And so you evolve and heal unconscious behaviors that can unlock more of the incredible nature of his work environment and behavior. We know with sexual compatibility, your Mars and Cap will work very well with his Mars and Taurus. Both of you are very sensually connected. His determined, slow approach works with your practical, gradual approach. This is really awesome. And we know that your Venus in, of course, Capricorn will mix with his Mars. Mars and Venus together is really good sensually. And your Mars with his Venus will actually be weird. It's incompatible, but this incompatibility ends up working because you understand each other so well. And so the determined, practical approach that goes in your heart and desire, he'll be able to detach and help manifest the value of this. You just have to work on the timing. But as far as the man's Mars and the woman's Venus, this is great for sex. very sensual, very physical. And this is where we come into the shared chart of both of you. Both of you are destined to be together. Your North Node in Aqua and his North Node in Aries meets together in Pisces. And so it's not a coincidence that the North Node connects both of your mutual Sun and Mars and makes both of you destined to work together, makes both of you destined to change the nature of your habits and to really bring both of you together to create a divine lifestyle together. That and all this is lit, y'all. In the tarot, Mars in Pisces is the 10 of Cups. I want you to look up the 10 of Cups. Oh, you're a tarot reader. You're a tarot. I'm about to say, look up the 10 of Cups. You're a tarot reader. So you know what this means. So y'all literally have the fulfillment aspect together. You're destined to be fulfilled together. That's really lit. This is an originally divine partnership. And then it's even more significant that your Sag rising connects with his Leo rising, and both of you come together in Libra. And so both of you are artists together. And as artists, right, as a balanced union, you both carry the vibration of original divinity, original divine magic, the warrior divine ones. An emphasis on warrior, because the ruler of Aries, Mars, the ruler of your 7th house of partnership, is on your Sun, Mars, on the North Node. So both of you apply this assertion of imaginative focus to really create your destiny together, something that's transcending with Neptune here. And we want to really take into account the significance of the 6th house quality of this relative to your shared Libra rising, because this makes this a 6th house relationship falling in the 5th house. Both of you creatively have fun coming into a divine routine together. Venus is mastered 28 degrees here in the same sign as Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, which now makes both of you not only have come over your mutual Saturn return, which is really just James anchoring his support to really fulfill your Saturn return, which we're completing this year, but it's awakening the nature of this heart as well. And it's not a coincidence that the Sun is in your shared 1st house, squaring Venus as I'm doing this report. I have to scream because I love when this shit happens. This is magic. You're showing me magic right now. And that's the gift that y'all give to everyone, both individually and together. So, I mean, I would not have experienced this magic if both of you didn't decide to come together and share that with me. By me exchanging and helping come into the meaning of your partnership. See, my Sun is in the 9th house of meaning. And so I'm providing this. The fact that y'all chose me to do that is really just a sign of how incredibly magic y'all are. I love doing this. This is amazing. So yeah, the Aries moon nature of this shared chart is being triggered by Chiron, which can really lend forth to a lot of vulnerability here. This is a very dynamic, passionate relationship. It's a very sexual relationship. But remember, Mars in Pisces is the 10 of Cups. This is a relationship of fulfillment. And so, I mean, I cannot doubt that you are twin flames. Whether you're twin flames or not, you're a very important soulmate connection. And I love how both of you meet in Aries, because this is a very original spark of divinity that both of you can process intellectually in genius ways. The shared Mercury connects with Chiron so that you can use conversation as a model and means to understand each other more and express creatively. Jupiter is opposite Pluto, which goes into the sensual nature of intimacy that both of you connect even deeper with, and will open up really great money for any mutual investments or shared income. So I hope you enjoyed this report. Because Venus represents the shared heart and romance of this relationship, it's what's going to be directly connected to the psychic power of this ancestral connection. And so the more you tap into that, the better. And with the Sun transiting the 1st house, as you gain this identity of both of your partnerships, we're going to see Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto move out of your 4th so that you can really maintain this home family structure you want to build. And as it goes into your 5th, you'll start looking more into children and developing a greater creativity together through projects you instill. as the divine utilizes both of your ascended master spirits to assist in the guiding of humanity into this new age. You stay blessed as always. Peace.